Morphonica. Now, this is a band who I am super excited to check out the new single of. The new single, by the way, is called Resonant Strings. Now, why am I so excited to check this out? Right. More than a couple of reasons, actually. First of all, 10th anniversary of Bang Dream. And they are a Bang Dream band. Second reason is because, Morphonica, I gotta be honest, after checking out quite a few of the Bang Dream bands, I haven't heard enough Morphonica to say this with super confidence, but I feel like they're probably my favorite one. I feel like, the stuff I've heard by them, I really enjoyed. I'm thinking about Wing Beat was a really cool song. And then on top of that, their violinist, of course, the violinist who we know from other things like East of Eden. I mentioned before, she did that song with Lonesome Blue. It was like Lonesome Blue's first single. She was on there. I think it was their first single. Anyway, yeah, this is honestly just super talented people doing fun stuff under the Bang Dream guys, which gives you a little bit more room for playfulness. So I really want this to be just continue with that fun vibe as well. One of the things that does make Bang Dream so interesting is that a lot of the songs are really interestingly written. I believe they are written by, sort of Bang Dream's, staff writers. So as a result, you tend to get some really cool, interesting ideas. And all of the Bang Dream bands, a couple of sections like things like Afterglow, but pretty much all the bands have that kind of X Factor member, the person who's either the keyboard player or in this case a violinist, the one who does something a bit different. So as a usual rule, most Bang Dream songs tend to have a little bit of a quirky edge where they're different from your normal 4-piece rock band songs. So I'm just kind of super excited to check this one out because Morphonica is the band who, I don't know. I'm looking forward to all Bang Dream things. I'm going to do a couple more Bang Dream videos to celebrate the 10th anniversary, but Morphonica is the one where I'm kind of most excited about them. And so when I heard they had a new song, and this was mentioned in my Discord, I thought, yeah, okay, dive in, check it out, and that's what we're here to do. Yes, Resonant Strings by Morphonica. Shall we check it out together? Right, I believe this one, it says it's an official music video, and I'll tell you what, I really hope it is, because Bang Dream as a general, when they have official music videos, it tends to be one of those ones where it's like, we took 3 images and we're just going to pan across them. But last time with Wing Beat, Morphonica had a proper music video. So I'm hoping that Morphonica are going to give us a proper music video because I just like this band. I want a proper music video. I want to enjoy a proper music video. Anyway, let's go. And yes, just for in case you don't know, I have never played the Bang Dream game. I've never watched the anime. I've seen a couple of clips of it, but I've never watched it. So I am purely coming at this from the music perspective. Let's go. All right. Does it sound up? Hey! Proper music video. Loving all the layers of sound already. Oh! Straight into that 3/4 rhythm. Nice bass work in there. We're back to the still images, but it's okay. That's a cool. That was really cool. That's such a satisfying chorus. Oh no! Every time I love this. Every time I want to say something, something else happens. Barely a moment to think. And again, the second verse is very tonally different. Are we going to get the pre-chorus this time though? Yeah, the whole flow of the second verse. into the chorus, totally different. Of course we're gonna have a solo. I'm loving the layers of sound of this. And it's a really good chorus. Like, it's a really strong chorus. This is that particular type of chorus where it's not like super repetitive, super catchy. It just like feels rewarding. Oh, that's such a wholesome final shot there as well. All right, I got to analyze a few things on this one. Now, first things first, I think I can say without too much worry that my feeling that Morphonica might be the best Bang Dream band is getting a bit stronger as time goes on. I say this especially because the person who recommended this song to me, massive Raz fan. Just saying. But anyway, look, first things first. Well, that was the first thing. Second thing second. This is a song that has so much going for it. It really does. Like, we kick off immediately with so much energy. The fact that the strings are front and center, you really feel like the strings are adding like this constant like counter melody throughout the whole song. And, this band is already doing what I would consider to be the essential thing that even a four-piece band has to do, which is having the bassist play something different from the guitar so that you already have that extra layer of thickness. You want, obviously, the drums or rhythm, but then you're going to want the bass, the guitar, and the vocals to all kind of be doing different things. Yes, they have to come back to certain similar notes, but you want them to counter enough to add a sense of thickness to really give you what music is about, which is about the harmonics between different instruments doing different things. But then you listen to something like this where the violin is not just occasionally doing like a little motif, the violin is playing throughout, and you kind of have this constant four layers going on where the bass is doing one thing, the guitar's doing another, the violin's doing another, the vocal's doing another. It's so rewarding for your ears because there's just such this thick sound. I know there are some people I've spoken to who, when they hear stuff like this, they say, oh, it sounds too busy, it sounds too much. That's fine. Everyone has a different opinion. Everyone likes a different thing. But to me, when I hear kind of things like this, it reminds me of one of the reasons why I struggle so much to listen to a lot of, when I listen to sort of the music that was around when I grew up in the UK, and like when I listen to a lot of Western music, and I'm not just sort of being rude to Western music, but as a general, you tend to find like the bassist is usually playing the same chords as the guitarist, and everything's kind of like, there just tends to be less to get your ears into. I listen to something like this, and there's so much to get your ears into, but essentially it's still a song that is led by and focused on a strong melody. It's still a song you can sing along to. It's still very easy to follow. There's still no sort of like, oh, what the hell? What are they doing? It's not like some experimental madness. It's just thickly layered. It's just full of like details and nuances that don't get in the way of you enjoying the central experience, which is a big, fun, pop rock song. Yeah, it's got a bit of drama and a bit of theatre to it, but it is basically a fun pop rock song with a solid melody, a very sort of familiar J-pop style melody. The whole chord progression and vocal melody is really nice and really layered, but so really well directed, but there's nothing there that we haven't heard already from J-pop before. It's just it's the execution, it's the number of layers that go on here. I was enjoying the violin, and then I would catch little bits of the bass, and just so much going on. Really, really rewarding. Even the drummer. I mean, like I say, I almost kind of like haven't mentioned the drummer because the drummer's just kind of doing the rhythm on their own, but still, there's really interesting rhythm to this song. It has lots of changes, lots of fills, lots of things it goes through. I felt this was a song that really kept the energy up and did a great job. If I were to be honest, I would actually say maybe the one area that repeat listens will change things, but perhaps. But on first listen, the one area that maybe kind of I didn't quite hit me straight away was when they went into doing the solos. I felt like for a song that had been so kind of wonderfully well layered up to that point, to go into solos felt a little bit like I don't know if we need this. It doesn't really feel like the solos gave us anything that we weren't already getting from the rest of the song. I kind of personally would have preferred if they used the bridge to kind of like build things up and had like, sort of built on the arrangement and, really sort of built up that tension. Because when we went into the last chorus, I didn't really feel like the last chorus had benefited from the bridge. Whereas, usually a bridge is that thing that elevates the, in this kind of song structure, it's the thing that elevates the last chorus to that crescendo status where it's the big final time. Whereas here, it kind of felt like we had really cool second chorus, then we had the bridge, and then we had another chorus again. It didn't quite feel like it added anything to it, but it was still good. It wasn't bad. I just felt like the song had been so good and so clever and so imaginative up to that point. I thought they could have done more. And after the last chorus, I think personally what would have worked for me is if they'd done that all built up to the last chorus, and after the last chorus, then have a little bit of soloing just for a few bars at the end, would have maybe been the way that I would approach that. And it's interesting because after the last chorus, there was a little bit of a violin taking the lead moment there as well. But I will say that that's a minor niggle in something which ultimately I found to be just really enjoyable. I really enjoyed the whole vibe of this. It was just so much fun. It really put a smile on my face because I was just listening to it, just constantly excited throughout to have so much to enjoy, so much to listen to. And yet at the same time, just be able to rock out and feel like you can sing along to this too. Also, thank you. Look, I know it's not an expensive video, it's just them in a room, but just thank you, Bang Dream, for actually giving us a music video. Or maybe even more so, thank you, Morphonica, because again, it seems to be only Morphonica who are doing these that I've noticed. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but Morphonica is the only one I've seen who actually just like proper drop music videos as the band, and I love it. I love it. I could go for more of this, but this to me, this is what makes Japanese music exciting. This kind of thing where there's so much going on, and yet it feels so effortless. It's busy, it's crazy, but it feels effortless. And in a way, it feels unique as well. Morphonica, they don't just sound like another band. They got their whole own thing. So yeah, totally love it, respect it, really enjoy it. Definitely's got Morphonica down as my current favorite Bang Dream band, and I will be going back to check out more of them. Or hey, if you think I should like another band more from Bang Dream, try and convince me. Maybe the in-person music videos are helping. Who knows? Maybe I'm biased. But hashtag no bias. But until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these, for now, ciao, ciao.